Hi, everyone. My name is Beth Eggleston, and I am a registered dietitian with Nutrition by Meyer. I'm really excited to be here today to help make these delicious and nutritious taco bowls powered by Veggie Confetti. So we're really appreciative to Veggie Confetti for helping to sponsor us today. This is a really wonderful product. We're featuring their pickled onions. Veggie Confetti specializes in pickled vegetables, and they really want foods to have bold color and big flavors, and they're made to top any meal with a pop of color and a zing of flavor. So let's get started. First things first, what I did is I made some instant brown rice. You can use any type of rice that you'd like. Brown rice is going to be a good choice because it is high in fiber and has a lot of other vitamins and minerals in it, like B vitamins. And another great thing about instant rice is how fast it comes together. As a working parent, it's going to be really important for me to have fast meals on the table. And so instant rice certainly does that. Instant rice is also a great, or excuse me, brown rice is also a great choice because it is a whole grain. It has the whole grain intact. That's what makes it a whole grain. It has that bran on the outside, which is really rich in fiber. It also has the starchy endosperm and the germ on the inside. And that germ on the inside is going to be where those healthy fats live, as well as some B vitamins. So I have made that brown rice ahead of time through the miracle of modern cooking. So I have this great brown rice ready to go. So when we're putting our taco bowls together, this is ready to go to put into our bowl. If you do have any rice left over, another great thing you can do with it is to put it in the fridge, use it tomorrow. And day-old rice is really great for making fried rice. So if you ever have some rice left over, that's another nice alternative. The next thing I'm going to do is get my turkey ready. So these are going to be turkey tacos, and I've chosen to use our True Goodness 93 lean 7% fat turkey. So we have this great turkey on our shelves in our Meyer stores, and this 93% lean means that it's 93% lean meat, 7% fat. So the higher the fat content, it's going to be a little higher in calories and a little bit higher in fat. What's great about turkey is it's relatively low in fat to begin with, and it's also low in saturated fat as well. So I have an induction burner over here. Most home chefs, I would say, in general, don't have induction burners at their ready, but I wanted something right at my side here so I didn't have to turn my back to you at the stove. So I'm going to turn my induction burner on. And I'm going to make sure the temperature is right. I'm going to set it about 300 degrees, and I'm going to let my pan preheat. So I make sure that my pan is nice and hot when I put my turkey in. Turkey's also really great because it's an excellent lean protein source. And for a protein source, it's also a really inexpensive protein source as well. So really great thing to have on your dinner table, and it cooks very quickly. So I'm going to cut this open here. Turkey is also high in vitamins and minerals. And I'm just going to check my pan here. And one thing that you can do when you have a pan like this, you want to make sure it's hot enough to so your food does not stick in it. And so one way that you can do that is you can use water, and you can either throw some water in there. If the water evaporates quickly, it's not hot enough. But if the water rolls around in small balls on the cooktop surface, on the pan surface, then you know it's hot enough for the meat. Another thing is you can use a little bit of neutral oil. I have a little avocado oil here, so it has a very neutral flavor. You're not going to taste much of a difference with this. It's going to keep the flavor of the turkey, and that's going to keep it from not sticking as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit of avocado oil in there and then add my lean turkey. And hear it sizzling. So as this is cooking, it's going to cook up really quickly. Just going to make sure it browns nicely. I'll let it sit for a minute. Brown that side and then let it sit for the other side. And then while it does that, I'm going to talk about my taco seasonings. So one thing that you can easily do, it's fast, it's easy, is just use a pre-made taco mix. And these come in a bunch of varieties. There's mild, there's hot varieties, there's low sodium varieties. Or if you prefer to make something at home, you can certainly make something using a variety of spices. Using your Mexican style spices like cumin, paprika, oregano, chili powder, cayenne pepper, all of those can be mixed together to make a really nice taco seasoning, and then adding a little bit of salt and pepper as well. So I have taco seasoning right here. It's kind of the same color of my shirt, so it might be a little hard to see, but I'm going to put this in with a 1/4 cup water into our taco meat when it's all cooked through. So let me return to our taco meat. Our turkey, ground turkey, really does cook quite quickly, which is nice. Not quite there yet, but I might turn up my heat just a scotch. But we'll let that continue to cook. It's not really sticking, which is good since we used our method. We'll let that do its business. All right, so next what we're going to do is talk a little bit about our beans. So I have some black beans here. Black beans are a really wonderful thing to add to your diet. They're nutritious, they're full of fiber. Great source of fiber. In fact, a 1/2 cup of black beans have about 5-ish grams of fiber, which is wonderful because the average American only gets about 15 grams per day, where the recommendation is that women get about 25 grams of fiber per day, while men get about 38 grams of fiber today. So for women, 1/2 cup of this is about 20% of your amount of fiber you need in a day. I've chosen the low sodium variety, but you can certainly choose the traditional variety as well. And if you just want to rinse your black beans, you can get rid of up to 60% of the sodium within the can. I am kind of a sucker for little kitchen gadgets, so I have this bean draining colander right here. So I can just put this on top of my can, pour it over the sink once it's open, and I can drain out the liquid. Then I fill it with water, kind of shake it around, and then drain it out again. And then this is nice and tiny, and I can just throw this in the dishwasher instead of having to use a giant colander. So that's my little hack for my black beans. And black beans also are really important for gut health, and they're really rich in antioxidants. And so what antioxidants are, they're kind of like knights in shining armor. They come into our bodies and they help to defend our bodies against free radicals. And free radicals are these particles that get into our body through a variety of different ways. Everybody has them, but they cause inflammation. And inflammation, as many of you may know, is the root of a lot of different health conditions. So if we can minimize inflammation, we can help to improve our health. Another great thing about beans is that they have a low glycemic index, meaning that they are a diabetes-friendly choice for a carbohydrate food, because they don't raise your blood glucose as high as other types of carbohydrate foods. So our turkey is almost done. I'm trying to get the rest of the pink out, kind of breaking it up a little bit. Smells delicious. And please, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat and I'm happy to answer them. But we have our turkey here. You see it? It's kind of yummy and delicious. Put that there. I'm going to say to keep this warm, because we'll keep it warm while we're prepping our other things. But I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of water to this, as well as our taco seasoning, and let that all simmer together. Mix this up. If you do get a turkey that's a little bit higher fat turkey, you can certainly drain the any excess fat that you might have in there. But since this is such a lean meat, I didn't really feel like it needed too much draining. Plus, you do want it to have a little bit of liquid in there, because there's nothing worse than having dry taco meat. So we're gonna get all of that mixed in and let it heat up and simmer a little bit. So that looks delicious. And right now our setting on here is set to just keep it warm. And I must say it did not stick at all. So that's great news. Always like to use that trick when I'm using these types of pans. So I got that ready to go. We've talked about our black beans, and what we're going to do is actually add a can of black beans to our taco meat. So I have a can already drained, rinsed, ready to go. I'm going to add this can of black beans to our taco meat over here. So it can get the nice, yummy taco seasoning on those beans as well. And as you can see, that looks pretty darn delicious, and that will be an excellent item for our taco bowls. All right, next thing we need to do is create some of our toppings for our taco bowls. Now here's a little trick if you've never done this before. I get real annoyed when I have a cutting board that just moves around all the time. If you have a cutting board that does that, easy peasy, just put a kitchen towel underneath it and it's not going to move at all. It's going to be a really nice surface for your cutting. So next thing I'm going to do is take one of our peppers. So you can choose any type of pepper you like. Red is going to be the sweetest, and then it goes red, orange, yellow, and then green pepper is going to be our most bitter type of pepper. There is information going around that the number of lobes at the bottom of your peppers are going to indicate how sweet the pepper is or the gender of the pepper, but that's really just a myth. You're really going to just want to look at the color, and the color is going to indicate the sweetness of the pepper. Another thing is that once you add heat to the pepper, those sweetness levels are actually going to kind of all be similar. So once you have heated or cooked peppers, they're all going to taste quite similar. Just the raw are going to be different in sweetness levels. So I'm going to cut up my pepper, and I did see a hack. It's a TikTok hack, so we'll see how it goes, and this is actually my first time doing it, so let's hope it works. But this is for cutting the pepper. What I'm going to do is cut off the stem. And it's always nice to have a bowl nearby to put any stems, seeds, peels, anything like that. And what I'm going to do is cut along the ridges of the pepper. So if it's a 3-lobed pepper, you cut 3. If it's a 4-lobed pepper, you cut 4. And then you just peel it away like this. Okay. This is legit. It really does work. And then you have your pepper pieces, and then you have the center that's all the seeds and everything else, and then you can just chop up your pepper. So that worked great. Gonna do that in the future. I'm gonna use my red pepper here. Put this aside. But I'm just gonna chop up my red pepper. I think red pepper is probably my favorite type of pepper as well, but peppers are going to be a really good source of vitamin C. They're going to have fiber. Basically, all fiber comes from plant food. If you're eating something with fiber that's not a plant food, some fiber has been added to it. So I've got my pepper diced here, and this is just going to be for 1 serving. And I'm going to put it in a bowl over here. Got my nice scraper. Get all those peppers up in there. And so then I can use that a little bit later. I said I was a sucker for little kitchen gadgets. I also have a kitchen gadget for my avocado. This is just an avocado tool. It's got a knife to cut the avocado. What my favorite part of it is this thing right here that helps to get the pit out, and then this can slice the avocado. I don't really use that one as much, but I'm going to use the knife to cut my avocado. And avocados are wonderful because they're rich in monounsaturated fats. They are really high in fiber. Actually, half of an avocado has about 6 to 7 grams of fiber. So between that, the beans, and the brown rice, you're getting a really wonderful fiber-dense meal. So what you do is you put that center thing right on the pit, turn, and out it comes. It's very, very easy. So I'm going to put that pit over in my bowl right there that has all my extra pieces. And then I'm going to use a spoon just to get out that avocado. Put that peel over there. And then use my knife to chop up my avocado. And avocados are going to be really rich in monounsaturated fats, which are the type of fats that can be very beneficial for lowering our bad LDL cholesterol, our lousy cholesterol. That's how I remember it. L for lousy, LDL. So now I have some of my toppings together. I've got avocados, I've got peppers, I've got cheese, of course. You can't have a taco without cheese, in my opinion. I'm using the Meyer Mexican style 4 cheese. So I have that, but you can use any type of cheese that you like. Maybe you want a more traditional type of queso fresco or something like that on your taco, but you measure that cheese with your heart because cheese is delicious and it's a wonderful topping for your taco bowl. So I'm going to take my bowl. This recipe feeds a family of 4. It's 4 servings. So this is a nice, generous recipe for your family. You can always double, triple the recipe, but I'm going to first start by adding a little bit of our rice, about maybe half a cup to 2/3 cup rice in my bowl, just like that. And then our delicious taco and bean mixture. It's warm, it's been kept warm over here, and this is going to be where all that yummy flavor is going to come from for our taco bowls. I put about a quarter of my taco mixture right on top of that brown rice. Then I'm going to add some of my toppings that I've already cut up. So I've got my peppers here. I'll put that on. So it's going to be nice and colorful. I'm going to put on my avocado, about a quarter of an avocado, since I have 1 avocado for the recipe. There we go. Got that, get that out of the way. So you can see that it's already getting really colorful. Then, of course, can't go have that taco bowl without the cheese. So I'm going to go put a little bit of cheese on there. And then I have some of our Fresh by Meyer salsa. And this salsa is really quite delicious. It comes in lots of different flavors. So I'm going to add a little bit of salsa to our taco bowl, of course. Yum. You could also add some sour cream if you like, or if you prefer guacamole over avocado, or maybe both if you wanted to. And then the crowning moment, I'm going to add my Veggie Confetti pickled onions on top of our taco bowl to make it pop with color. It's going to be that bold color, big flavor, and it's going to be just beautiful because food should look as good as it tastes. So I'm going to add a little bit of those colorful, delicious pickled onions to the top of my bowl. And so as you can see, we have this yummy, delicious, nutritious taco bowl ready in, how many minutes was that? 20 minutes? And this was me just chatting away at you. So I'm going to give this a try. This delicious taco bowl with these Veggie Confetti pickled onions. So good. Delicious. So fast, so flavorful. Your family will love it. Relatively inexpensive. You can find Veggie Confetti pickled onions at your local Meyer store along with all of these other ingredients. Make sure you check out the module for this class because that's where you can find this delicious taco bowl recipe from Veggie Confetti. And I hope you'll join us for our next class in October. If you have any questions, please let us know. And we are so excited that you joined us for our cooking class today with Veggie Confetti.